All right, guys, we got a new update today from Arc Raiders. Of course, we got update Shrouded Sky, patch notes 1.17.0. What's coming? We got a hurricane map condition, of course, two new Arc enemies, which are the Comet and the Firefly, I believe. Weather monitoring system, that's a player project. Free Raider deck. Uh, the Damn Battlegrounds update, of course. Expedition window opening and facial hair customization. So here we go. Let's jump into it here. Pretty big changes on the weapon front here, especially if you're a PvP player. We'll kind of jump down to basically this just says that as they were trying to do some investigation with the weapons, they ended up buffing some weapons without wanting to do that. I don't know how you do that, but they did. So here are some of the nerfs that went live today. The Stitcher. These are the highlights down here. Again, reduce headshot multiplier from 2.5 to 1.75. That's a pretty big nerf right there. Um, reduce base damage from 7 to 6.5 and increase shot dispersion by about 50%. So that's a pretty big nerf to the Stitcher right there. Free kits probably won't be as crazy as they have been. The kettle, kettle's had a lot of different things going on here recently, especially with the nerfs and everything like that. The kettle basically just reduced its damage as well from 10 to 8.5. Again, another pretty big nerf there. And here's the one that I'm upset about, as I had a huge stash of these and now they suck. If you haven't been in game, look at that, because they're no longer the best PvP weapon. The Venator, it reduced the headshot multiplier from 2.5 to 2, which is a 20% decrease, which is insane. And then the base damage got knocked down from 9 to 8. Not only that, people are also saying that it's kind of reverted back to the old way where you have to kind of time your shots a little bit. It's a little bit slower. The Jupiter and the Aphelion, apparently they got some buffs here. ADS magnification, improved equip time, improved unequipped time. That's cool. I still don't think they're worth using. Aphelion, again, 4.5 to 3.5 seconds on base reload. Time between shots to 0.7. Reduced vertical recoil by 50% and improved ADS speed by 35%. One of the bigger W's that I think is pretty cool, you no longer have to have the equalizer blueprint to get energy ammo. Previously, you had to get the equalizer blueprint in order to craft energy clips, but now it seems that it is available right off the bat in your workbench. Some item and cost changes. These are very interesting. I do agree that the deadline value needed to go up. There's no reason why it was only 5,000, especially when it takes 15,000 and now 18,000 to buy it from the trader. So they're just kind of, it's the same. It's really the same. It's just the value's gone up. It's 1/3 of the price that you can get from the trader, which is insane. Trailblazers kind of got the big nerf in the earlier patch this month, but their value did increase to 2,200. Trader price increased to 66. So again, pretty much the same thing. 1/3 of the cost in value as it is from the trader, and you have to have a new arc part for the crafting cost. The next one, I'm not so happy about this, and just depending on kind of what happens. The Wolf Pack. So the value increased again to 6,000 from 5,000, but now you need an added Rocketeer driver. Here's why this is not great. So it takes 2 Wolf Packs to kill a Rocketeer. And most of the time, when you kill that Rocketeer, you're getting 1, maybe 2 drivers back. Nothing really happens there. You just like the Rocketeer driver that it takes to craft a wolf pack. If you only get one back, okay, then maybe save your wolf pack or sell it. If you find one, sell it, and then don't mess with the Rocketeers. Like this to me, unless they're putting more Rocketeer drivers in the Rocketeer, that's not great. But they did reduce the refined explosive costs, so maybe that'll balance out. I don't know if they add more Rocketeer drivers in the Rocketeer, that can be fine, but we're gonna have to see what happens there. The Vita spray, I'm not sure why they did this one. So the value did increase, but they added a tick pod. They added a tick pod as a crafting cost. I don't really know the reason for that, but really the biggest thing here is taking up the inventory space that you need to craft these things. Like I don't want to have a spot in my inventory for tick pods and Rocketeer drivers. I usually just, if I have them, well, first of all, I never have tick pods, and if I have Rocketeer drivers, I'm going to sell them or uh, recycle them. So it's, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that kind of works out. The showstopper. So this was the only one where the value decreased. It only decreased 100 space dollars, so that's not crazy. But they did add a Hornet driver. But instead of advanced electrical components, you'll only have to use regular electrical components. And it says arc parts sell value has been reduced to better reflect the crafting and progression rules. Honestly, that's kind of one of the biggest things of this new patch. I mean, all of that is kind of insane. Uh there's a bunch of animation fixes. If you kind of want to go into that, that's cool. You know, whatever there, as long as they're trying to fix all that, that's cool with me. Fixed an issue where surveyors and fireballs could open prematurely. Again, all this kind of stuff you can kind of read on your own if you'd like. I'll leave a link in the description to the patch notes. So if you want to kind of get into that, you can. Again, audio fixes, cosmetics. Okay, so these are some of the bigger things that people were excited about. The Volaire skin, the Surgeon set, the Devotee set is coming soon, and the facial hair customization. I don't know why they didn't have this in the first place. Obviously, I have a beard. I would love for my Raider to have a beard. Okay, so that's pretty cool, pretty neat. It is kind of locked behind the Raider deck right now. The new Raider deck that came out, the free one, you got to get it in there. So I don't know why they didn't just give it to us right off the bat, but that's a question for them. Incorrect visor glass material, various instances of clipping on certain outfits. Okay. Gameplay, added a piano. Cool. Again, some of these things are kind of niche and based on bugs that were happening. So if you want to read that in the description. General performance improvements, little stuff. Maps, of course. In general, they fixed the broken interactions near the top of the ladders, fixed missing collision on several environmental props to reduce clipping, and general lighting fixes. Buried City, the chance of finding rare loot in chimneys have been lowered slightly during Bird City map. I think that was the whole point of the Bird City map, so I'm not sure. Anyway, fix multiple collision issues on Stella Montis to prevent players from reaching out of bounds areas using the unstuck function to address shots coming from the lobby ceiling. Okay, so I know a lot of people were talking about people getting in the ceilings and shooting at people. Very interesting there. Night lighting on Stella Montis to improve visibility. Always good. Can't see in that thing if you're, in a night raid or if you're in one of the day night raids. Nighttime visibility in the seed vault, spillway bridges, get on top of metro trains. Oh, yeah, I did see a TikTok about that. That's crazy. Anyway, Blue Gate, thunderstorm lighting, out of bounds things, movement, ladder jump off to match vault jump off stuff. Sliding could clip through stairs. You can now reroll feats 3 times a day for free. They removed the PvP feats. Added expedition catch-up system. Again, expedition catch-up system. If you did the first expedition but didn't get all of the skill points based on the 5,000 credits that you needed, you can do it now. If this is your first time doing the expedition, then unfortunately you cannot get those right now, but there will be more expeditions, and there's a cap to the skill points, they said. So not to worry there. You can always catch up later. Fixed an issue where players occasionally did not receive skill points. Cool. And candleberries and Bluegate now count as harvest plants. They should have always. Okay. Quests, clearer pings, next objective pop up, multi-step. Okay, cool. There were a lot of UI changes if you've been in the game so far. A lot of cool ones, a lot of ones that are, whatever, but cool anyway. Utility, pop triggers and spotter relays can now be used in quick slots. So the spotter relay can now be deployed as a trap that lures nearby arc, and the pop trigger can now be deployed to roll forward briefly before exploding. So cool things there. Zip lines can no longer be placed on carryable objects. If you haven't seen the burnt peanut, that's what he was doing, getting all the way on top of the map. Some crazy stuff. And then they go into some known issues. And then they talk about anti-cheat. This is some big, this is really big in the PvP front. When you have an extraction shooter like Arc Raiders is, killing people and getting their loot is the name of the game. So when you have people that are cheating, that's a big deal, okay? When we shared our last update about tackling unfair play, we didn't fully convey the complexity and scale of what goes into cheat detection. Our defenses operate on multiple levels. Some checks are simple and definitive, while others are behavioral and data-driven and evolve over time. We also leverage broad gameplay, telemetry, and machine learning techniques to spot patterns that aren't obvious at first glance. These methods take longer to develop, must adapt as game systems change, and don't always offer instant certainty the way blunt software detections can. We've recently taken actions against different exploits, and we are further tightening our rules and stepping up enforcement. Serious infractions now carry stricter consequences. Stronger detections will receive permanent bans right off the bat. How it should be. How it should be. There should never be cheaters that get a pass. If you're cheating in a game, that's crazy work, and you should be banned. You should get no other chance. If you're wall hacking, if you're aimbotting, you should get no other chance. You've just killed people, and I know I've been killed by cheaters before. I know I have with, fresh Steam accounts, blah, 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 whatever. They should be gone automatically, while others will receive temporary suspensions and single chance to correct the behavior. I don't know what instances that would be. Maybe smaller things, maybe exploit things. I don't know. Recent updates to family sharing have strengthened our ability to curb misconduct and streamline the removal of bad actors from the game. We're preparing to launch a systematic manual review of ban appeals. The game is young, and the volume of telemetry is enormous, but this process ensures every case is handled with care as we continue to learn quickly and invest heavily in the precision of our enforcement tools. Our dedicated anti-cheat team works tirelessly to keep the game fair. It's an ongoing fight, and we're committed to it. The Arc Raiders team. So, guys, those are the patch notes for the Shrouded Sky patch here. If you think it's a W, please put that in the comments below. If you think it's an L, put that in the comments below. Personally, I don't know. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think there's a lot of things that are cool, a lot of things that maybe they'll think about it later and think, oh, maybe we should have done that differently. But anyway, thanks, guys. See you later.